Looking at the agent builder from the Copilot Studio. So for this demonstration and for this series, I'm going to take an example of the health policies. So different organizations have the policies like HR policy, ITs, and their team member handbook. So we are going to create an agent for that where user can do Q&A on that agent. We are going to take a look at what are the topics, what are the knowledge sources, how we can use the generative AI capabilities, and how we can customize the agents. Also, we are going to take a look at how we can build our agents actionable. So first we'll look at how we can create a new agent, and we'll customize something. I'll give a theoretical introduction about each and every topic. To create a new agent, you have to go to the Copilot Studio. Here you can start from the existing template from the Microsoft. So let's say if you want to build some agent that does Q&A from your website, you can use this template. So it will automatically has all the information like description, instructions, everything pre-built. But if you want to make a case or use case where you want to customize everything from scratch, you can build a new agent from here. So you can create it, click on new agent. So here it will give you a chatbot experiences where you can answer the questions from here, and first it will tell us like what you would like to make. So I have already written some description about what agent I want to make. So it's a policy helper chatbot which helps employee to guide to the policy, search policy, and redact them to the policy document. So this is just a sample description I have created. Then on the right hand side you can see in the background it will going to perform some operations, like it will generate some description, it is going to generate some instructions for the agent. The second question is what should be the name of the agent. So it suggests that can I name it as a policy guide. I'm okay with that, so I will just respond to yes, go ahead. After that this is the really important step, because every AI agent we are going to build must have the instructions like how your agent should respond, how user can generate queries, what are the do's and don'ts in order to generate a response. So for this as well I have created a dummy text here. So I will give you a heads up here. So when responding to user queries, the chatbot should maintain clear, concise, and friendly tone, offering a direct answer wherever possible. It should automatically reference the relevant section and all the policy documents. So this kind of information you can give it to the agent. Once I send it, it is going to update these instructions for me. So I have given a paragraph, but for this the bullet point will work. Now it is give the instructions to me, and then it will ask you if you'd like to add some documents or external references. That I will do it on my own. So after these steps you can hit on create. It will take a minute or two to create this. You can see the agent has been created. We have the name, policy guide, there is some description I have added in earlier, and these are the instructions. Then here we have the concept called orchestration, to use generative AI to determine how to best respond to users. So there are two types. If you are using generative AI capabilities, then your Copilot agent is automatically going to understand based on the user query. So whether you want to trigger a topic, whether you want to trigger an action. But if it is disabled, then you will have to address this exact query or exact topic, let's say. But for my case, I would like to turn it on. You can always click on learn more, and you can learn about it, like what is orchestration is. Definition here is self-explanatory. Then we have the things to add our knowledge resources, where we can add some data files from the SharePoint, your local system, or any other external system that should be publicly accessible. So here we can add knowledge, and there we have the concept called actions. So in order to make your agent actionable, you can add actions that we are going to take look in a further videos. But this video specifically for the beginner level, where how we can add a knowledge sources, how the things works behind the scene. Then we'll add some knowledge sources. For knowledge sources, I have already downloaded some dummy documents for the organization policies. So I'm going to upload the files here, but you can always choose if you want to add a public website, you can add that link here. If you want to add the SharePoint data, you can choose SharePoint, where you will provide the SharePoint URL, and when you ask any question, if agent thinks that this information present in this SharePoint site, it's going to return result from them. But in my case, to make the chatbot more accessible, I'm just going to upload files from my local system. So I'll just click on it. It will open the file explorer, and I will select 3 documents: the leave policy, IT policy, and team member handbook. So here we have the name and description. So make sure that you put the name and description properly, because AI is going to use that description to identify the best knowledge sources to generate answer from. So I think the names are fine here. So I'm just going to remove this doc extension. So in the description, I will, for the IT policy, I will add description like this document have all information about IT policies. The same thing I'm going to copy from here. This is for the leave policy. And the last one is for the team member information. I think this is fine. Then you have to click on add. So it will upload your file on the Dataverse. So whenever you add any knowledge sources, so it will take some time in order to sync, and here you can see the status of it. You can always refresh it to check the latest status. So it will take a minute or two to refresh this. But before that, what we are going to do, we'll just take a look at the user interface. The third tab, we have the topics. So topics are the triggering point of your agent. So let's take an example. We have the conversation start topic. So on the right hand side, you can see the live agent. So if you refresh here, it's going to give me a message. So this message we have added in the topic. So that topic is called as conversation start. That means whenever this chatbot loads, this message is going to display. Now you can customize this message. So if I click on it, here you can see on conversation start, we are going to send a message, hello, and the name of that user and this information. So here we have added the variable. So there are lots of system variables. We have the custom one. We have the system variables you can add to make it more dynamic. So here I'm going to change this text. Hello, welcome. How I can help you? Then I can click on save. Click on refresh to see the latest changes. Now you can see this message is going to appear here. Now if I go back and see the different topics, so you see there are some trigger points. So this is the conversation start. So it gives the description, the system topic trigger when the Copilot receive activity of the new conversation. Then the conversation boosting topic is there. which triggers on the unknown intent. That means if user asks any information that is not in the selected topic or any action or any knowledge sources, so it is going to trigger that one. And in that, what we have the action called create generative answer. So if we ask any information that is not in the configuration here, it's going to create generative answer based on that. So it is using the AI in the backend and whatever the knowledge sources we gave to it. So here create generative answer activity.text, that means the complete user input, and here you can specify what data sources are. If I click on edit, currently it is set to allow AI to use its own general knowledge. Now what this means is any AI application is there outside, right? So it is trained on some existing data. Even though we example of ChatGPT, when the ChatGPT is built, it is built on some existing data, I think from 2020, right? So let's say, let me ask any information, let's say how to make a tea. Now this information is not in my IT policy, not in any policy document, and we will check if it's going to generate an answer or not. You see, in this is called the activity map. Also here you can see the progress. So which session started, that means the chatbot has been started. Then it goes to the knowledge source. Now this goes to knowledge source in the leave policy, IT policy and team member handbook, but it didn't get any result. So it says no output result is found, but still we got that result because we received this result based on its training data. So if you want your agent to not use any training data of itself and you want it specifically to search it in between only the selected knowledge sources, you can turn off that option. So if I go to topic, go to conversational boosting, click on edit, and you can turn it off, and I will save it. Now this is for this particular action only, create generative answers for the conversational boosting. But if I create another topic, if I added the creative generative answer, then there as well I need to turn that option off. If you want to make it globally, what you can do, you can just go to overview, and here in the knowledge sources you can turn off that option, allow AI to use its own general knowledge. But in my case, I don't want AI to use its own training data, so I will turn it off. Now let me refresh it and again ask the same question, how to make a tea. Now the session has been started. Now it will go in the knowledge sources available. It didn't found any result, and it says, I'm sorry, I'm not sure how I can help you with that, because we turned that option to use its own general knowledge. Earlier it was on, that's why it returned me the result, but this time we tell AI agent specifically to not use any training knowledge. We just want the information from the provided knowledge source only. So this is how you can restrict your agent to limit the knowledge based on some criteria. Now here you can see the status is ready. That's why now I can ask some questions from any leave policy document. Let's say I want to know how many annual leaves are there. Now its session has been started. It is checking the knowledge sources. It checked the 3 knowledge sources, but it found the information in the leave policy document. So you see output. Now here we have the output. Full-time employees can earn up to 15 days. Part-time will have some other case, and here it gives me reference to the document. Now if I open this document, so here we have the data from my document that I have uploaded. So I think here we have that information. So here we have the full-time employee can earn up to 15 days, and here we have that on 15 days annual leaves. So this information it got. Now I can search about another document. Let's say get me the details of operations team. Now this information is in my team member document. Now we will check whether it get me the resources or not. So you see it checked the 3 knowledge sources. It found the information in the team member information document. So these members are from my operations team: Nicole, Adrian, and Grace. So the response you see here, we did not give any inputs to it, like how you want that response to appear. Based on the data it got from the knowledge sources, it automatically generated the response behalf on itself only. So that's why that name is called as create generative answers. So this is how you can do Q&A on all the knowledge sources you have. Again, this is called as activity map, where you can see what activities are going on. But if you want to track like in which topic it's going to appear, what you can do, you can just turn it on the track between topics. So if I turn it on now, if I ask any question, now this will go in a greetings topic. So you see in a greeting topic, then how it know that I need to go to the greeting topic? In this we have these phrases. So here in the greeting we have the good afternoon, good morning, hello, hi, and this is the exact word I have put here. And let's say if I add another keyword that is not from this one, so the good night is not there, so I will ask it, and let's see what happened. So you see the good night, that means would you like to end the conversation, so it triggers the goodbye topic. But if you see here, the good night keyword is not mentioned here. So how our agent is understanding this? That is because we enable the generative AI capability. So if I go to overview, you see the orchestration is enabled. That's why it's going to automatically understand what works behind the scene. Now what I can do, I will just turn this option off and let's see how it's going to behave. That option is turned off now, and I will refresh it. So whenever we refresh, it will trigger the conversation start. That's the starting point of our agent. Here I will put good night again. So you see earlier if I put good night, it goes in the goodbye topic, but now it goes in the greetings topic. But usually what good night is like, we want to end the conversation, something like that, right? So that's not automatically analyzing the best topic or best action to execute, right? So that's why I will recommend you to turn this feature on, so that you don't have to write a more and detailed description for each topic, so that AI will analyze. Now if we look at the different topics, so there is the end of conversation. So let's say if I put something like thank you, bye bye, so it will end the conversation. Then there is the escalate topic. So let's say if you are integrating this agent with some external system where the real person are going to talk with the user, so you can add it here. So currently it is not integrated, but I will just show you how it's work. So can I talk to a person? So it will trigger this escalate topic. So you see this tool can handle query like talk to agent, talk to person, but currently escalation is not supported. So here is going to change. So let's say if you are transferring this to some external system, you can add it here. There is a transfer conversation option here, so you can transfer it here, right? So these are some advanced level thing that we are going to see in upcoming videos. Now we have the actions. So here in the actions section, we are integrating Power Automate. So let's say you have some IT help desk list, or let's say issue tracker list. In that you have added some issues. You want to create a new issue or update any issue. So what the traditional approach is, you go to that SharePoint list, you create each item manually from scratch. But when we integrate actions, you can use the natural language to talk with it. Let's say if you want to create an issue, I can just type it as please create a ticket for me, and the issue is I am not getting proper network. So if you ask something query like this one, it will generate, it will trigger that action, and it will add the data in the SharePoint based on this natural language. So this is how the action works. In the activity, you can see whatever the publishing status, whatever the activity your users did, right? Then we have the analytics, just a dashboard, like how your agent are behaving. It's a Power BI dashboard basically. And after that, we have the channels. So here you can add this agent to a different channels. To add the add it to the channel, you first need to publish your agent. So currently what I will do, this is I'm not using any SharePoint, I'm not doing Dataverse links, so I will turn the security off. Because if you are integrating your any flows, let's say Power Automate flow or adding SharePoint knowledge, then you must have the Entra ID authentication enable, because it works with the user authentication only. So currently I will select no authentication because I just added the documents from my system. Now the authentication changed. Now I can publish this agent. Now here you need to click on publish. So it's saying that user don't require any authentication. That's a warning. It is not preventing us from publishing. So I will click on publish. I can close it, so it will run in the background. Now if I go to channel, so there are you can add it to Microsoft Teams, you can add it to demo website. So demo website is very helpful if you created a new agent and if you want to share with some user for beta level testing, you can deploy to demo website. It will generate a website URL where users can interact with your chatbot. The custom website, so here it will generate some iframe tag. So it's HTML only, so you can just copy it and put it in your code. So the agent is published. Now I can click on demo website. So here before publishing, you can add this information like welcome message. So I can add it like hey there, welcome, conversation starters. So when this chatbot is loaded, you can give what kind of conversations you can talk with this agent. So let's say, no, you don't have to use the keyword can. Please get me information about leads. Something you can like who are in IT team. Copy the URL, save this. Now I can open the new tab. I will copy this URL here. So here you can see, hey there, welcome. That's our welcome message, and these are the conversation starters. So it automatically started the message. So I can ask it who are in IT team. So it will search in my IT team member document. It will get the data and the person name from the IT team. So here you can see the IT team member as Luisa, Carlos, all these person. If I click on it, it will give me their email ID and other information. And it gives the exact reference to that document as well. Let's say if I ask please get me information about leaves. So it's going to look in the leave policy document it is going to get me all the leaves like annual, sick leaves, maternity, paternity, and it will generate the proper response. So it generated the response. There is annual leaves, sick leaves. So all this information it is generated. Also gave the reference to the documents. Now you can ask queries. So this URL you can share with anyone. They can test and give feedback to your bot. So let's say if I ask about something that is not in the documents. Tell me how to unlock the door. This information is not in any document, not in any knowledge source I gave, right? To unlock the door, ensure that you have necessary authorization. So if you are referring to the server room or room equipment, okay. I think this information is in the IT policy document, because it says that if I ask, tell me how to unlock the door, it thinks that I'm asking about how to unlock the IT equipment area door. That's why it get me the information. Okay, then let me ask something that's completely irrelevant. Okay, tell me how to cook rice. So it says the conversation has been failed because it did not found any information, I guess. So this is how you can generate a new Copilot agent. If your use case is really simple, like you just want to upload some document and user can do Q&A based on this document, you can have this agent. Now in the upcoming video, we are going to see how you can add multiple topics, make your agent actionable, and how you can modify existing topics. So if you have any questions or any doubts regarding these basic concepts, you can let me know in comments. Thank you.